following podcast is set for at least 1 hour. Introducing your hosts, from Fort Worth, Texas, at a total combined weight of 430 pounds, Kevin and Chris Newell. The Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Alright, third time's the charm on this one. Okay, sorry about all that. Welcome to the Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast, where anything could happen.
Wait a minute.
I'm your host, Kevin.
And I'm your other host, Chris.
Alright, now that we've gotten all that crap out of the way, let's go ahead and work on the show, which is recapping everything that happened tonight on Monday Night Raw and get past this technical fiasco that had just happened with this computer.
Yeah. Or do you want to start with match of the week for last week?
Yes, let's do that. Chris, go ahead and announce with the votes that we had in Discord, which was
Here.
all three of the votes.
Yep, just double checking. Winner of match of the week for last week was Street Profits DIY and Motor City Machine Guns about to say DIY match. No, it was a TLC match.
In a way, they did it themselves. So.
Yeah. But that was the match that won. Match of the week for last week.
Okay. Well, again, there were just 3 votes. So, thanks for everyone that voted. Let's see, we got Chris. That Chris, not this Chris. He's in the chat. We have some people that were also in the YouTube chat. Please come back. I don't know what happened, but we had a technical snafu, and now we're back, and we got everything fixed, thankfully. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started with everything that happened on Monday Night Raw tonight. And Chris, you have the floor. Take it away.
All right, so WWE Monday Night Raw, 28th of whatever this month was again.
April.
That month, yeah. Close enough. 4th month. I put a 4, not the actual month. So, Raw, T-Mobile Center, Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City's in Missouri too. They started off with Seth and his faction in the ring, where basically he was talking about how he sees himself, Paul Heyman, and Braun Breaker as the future of WWE, or at least they're gonna try guiding or controlling it there. And as he was talking about that, you had Sami Zayn come out and basically just call him out, saying that it's a load of crap, and actually called him out for being jealous, talking about how the one something that him and Punk and Roman had in common would be Paul Heyman.
Of course.
And he called him both jealous and a hypocrite.
Okay.
And also compared his new group to the Bloodline, pointing at how he has his wise man, he has a dog.
Which I thought that was a good little...
That was funny.
That was a good little jab at him.
Yeah. And towards the end of that starting promo, he offered... I say offered. It was a threat. He threatened Sami, basically saying that...
Even though he said repeatedly he wasn't threatening him.
Yeah, Well, I don't know. When he explained it, maybe it wasn't so much a threat, but when you really think about it, it's a threat.
It was a threat.
Because he told him that if you're not with us, if you do not agree with me, if you don't do all that, then he's going to be a target. And then Sami called it a threat. He said it's a threat. And then you had Seth explain it, offering to get Sami moved off of Raw over to SmackDown or something like that.
Right.
And he said that he's going to give him tonight to think about it. You also had you almost had Braun Breaker start fighting with Sami during that promo, because Sami said he didn't like the way Braun was looking at him.
Okay.
That ended up finishing off in the main event of tonight. Then
But we'll get more to that in a minute.
yeah, because it was the main event, so there was a few promos between now and then. Then the first match of the night was Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. No entrance for Perez. Then again, that could also be because we don't pay for the ad-free version of Netflix, so
They may have shown her coming out to the ring during
during the ad.
that, because usually they don't do the commercial breaks, but they'll do ads for like WWE Shop, upcoming pay-per-view. They may show a few interviews in the crowd, because they do that once in a while, and then one of them could possibly be the entrance of Roxanne Perez.
Yeah. We saw interference during that match from Julia, which ended up resulting in a DQ ending the match. So technically, nobody really won that match, and we'll probably see that boil over to like.
We also did see Io Sky come out.
That I did not get note of.
Yeah, Io Sky came out to save to try to help out with Rhea to kind of return the favor from last week. Yeah. And we could possibly see a tag match or Io and Ripley invade NXT next week.
Kind of surprised to see them teaming up.
Yeah.
After the whole feud thing there. Then you had Judgment Day backstage. Finn talking about how he was kind of not told about the JD's return.
Yeah, he was starting to feel like he was being left out on things.
Yeah,
and he was the one running the group, but it seems that Liv is the one running the group, from what I'm seeing.
She's the only one with a real singles title.
Yeah.
Well, her and Dom. So
yeah,
it kind of makes sense that those two would run the group. Then you had Liv telling JD and Finn that they would be teaming up. Then that match is like after Logan Paul promo, so could just skip right to it. No. We'll go over the
in case everything.
Yeah.
No matter how much I dislike the guy.
Yeah, just messing with you. But Carlito also looked interested in the title during that match.
Yeah. Yeah, right before he walked off screen, he was like, maybe I should get a title now. Because you have JD and Finn trying to go for the tag titles. Why not let it be Carlito going for another title? But the only other
like
title
a mid-card
on Raw,
title or something like that.
well, the only other title on Raw to get is either the World Heavyweight or the Intercontinental. And Dom holds the Intercontinental.
Yeah. And I'm not... And they're sending Finn after the tag title. So, it's either world title or Intercontinental.
I honestly think it's going to come down to here pretty soon. And it's probably going to be SummerSlam, where it's going to be Dom and Finn.
We're going to see the Judgment Day explode during SummerSlam again.
Yeah.
Again.
Carlito may break off and do his own thing.
Also, just noticed my microphone turned into Carlito's hair.
That's kind of funny how that worked.
Yeah. But after that, speaking of titles, we had Logan Paul talk about how he wants Jay's title, and Jay talking about how he's not going to let the title slip away from him. And eventually he ended up knocking out Logan Paul, and that was the end of the promo.
Well, I mean, he was just saying if you want it, then come and get it.
Yeah.
So we're looking at probably at Backlash or SummerSlam.
Yeah. Speaking of that match, with the Judgment Day, you had them taking on the War Raiders with the New Day at commentary.
Oh yeah.
At some point during that match, New Day ended up having some guys thrown on them. They got taken out. They didn't like that.
No. A little bit.
Surprisingly, they did not interfere in the match after that I saw. But as far as interference, we did see that affected the match. We had JD getting knocked off a top rope by Penta.
Yes.
And then Ivar took advantage of that, gave him the War Machine, and then pinned JD. So, looks like they are moving up in the contendership.
The War Raiders have become #1 contenders.
Yeah.
To get their titles back.
Then we go back to Sami Zayn, who's now backstage, and it looked like a locker room.
You seem to be skipping around here, buddy.
What? Oh, no, that's after this.
What happened?
It was the
Oh, Sami Zayn and Paul talking. Right. Go ahead.
But yeah, sorry about that. You had him talking about how you had Paul talking about how he respected Sami's reasons for leaving the bloodline, and he said that Sami should do the same and respect his reasons for leaving the bloodline. And I guess that's true, but at the same time, Sami left and went on his own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Heyman kind of joined Seth Rollins. So he went from one faction to another.
Yeah.
Where one betrayed, the other just left. So they're not the same there.
No. He tries to give them equal ground.
It's not equal.
And basically said, if you don't leave, then you're going to have a one-on-one match with Braun Breaker.
Yeah. And he still tried to sell him on the idea of joining or leaving Raw.
And then
Even
he also,
offering a shot at a title.
yeah, whoever wins between John Cena and Randy Orton
Yeah.
at Backlash.
Which, looking forward to that match. See what happens there.
Yeah.
See if he uses up his appearances before then.
No.
Or if we end up seeing a rematch at SummerSlam or something.
I don't know. He's going to be using them sparingly. That's all I know.
Because, I mean, Cody can still invoke, like, the rematch clause or whatever, right?
I don't know.
Or no, because it was... I don't know.
I honestly don't know. I would think he would.
I'm not sure if that applies here.
Mm.
Then you had Becky Lynch come out and she came out to the ring and started talking, and kind of a little bit of a jab at the whole thing with Cargill and Belair about how she wasn't going to have this murder mystery type thing of who did what go on for a few weeks. So she then admitted directly to taking out Bayley.
Oh, at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she also said something about how Lyra is the friend of her enemy.
Yeah, because Bayley was every chance she got would attack Becky, and it was like this since 2019.
It's been going on a while then.
It's been going on a while, and she, and Bayley never apologizing for it. Becky taking offense and wanted to get back at Bayley somehow, some way, and she ended up getting back.
Then you had Lyra come out and say that she was warned by pretty much everyone backstage, the women's division, about Becky.
Right.
And then the fight ended up breaking out. A match was made for Backlash.
For the women's Intercontinental title.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Then you had Penta backstage, and I think this could end up going to what I was talking about the whole mask versus mask match. Hope you were gonna.
Oh, with El Grande Americano.
Yeah, you had, but that's a little bit later on in the promo. First, you had Nick Aldis and Penta, as pictured up there, talking about how there's a match next week. Penta versus JD McDonough.
Okay.
Then after Aldis left, you had Chad Gable and Ivy Nile show up. And basically you had Chad Gable messing with Penta about Ray.
Yeah, his brother losing to El Grande Americano at WrestleMania.
Yeah. And then Penta attacked Chad. And I still think that there's going to be a match somewhere there.
There has to be. There needs to be a mask versus mask match.
And then that's when they expose El Grande Americano as someone other than Chad Gable.
Yeah.
He's not Chad Gable, all right? Just getting that cleared out there.
I still believe it. It's definitely Chad. There's photographic evidence.
Where?
There's an image going around right now. Chad at one point had bloodied up his knuckles, bruised them up or whatever. And on the other picture is El Grande Americano putting in that plate in his mask with a hand that has the same markings on his hand as Chad Gable.
But he had the doctor's note. and he said he could, and he was unable to compete, so they replaced him with
You're
Americano.
seriously gonna push this?
I think it makes sense. It's not Chad Gable, all right? It's not Chad Gable. Two different guys.
No. No, I refuse to believe. No.
We'll see. We're gonna see, all right?
Nope. Nope, not Chad Gable. All right.
You just said it's not Chad Gable.
Come on, moving along.
Then you had Rusev talking about how basically his past in WWE, maybe even referencing his past with AEW.
Gable.
It's not Chad Gable.
He is Chad Gable.
He's not.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Being sick kind of overrides a few small cuts. Just saying. But in the end, he ended up talking about how he realized he can go after who he wants. And how he's going to be going after like wasted talent, people he thinks is arrogant, stuff like that. So, and I'm immediately like, maybe Chad Gable then. I don't know. Who, again, is not Americano, just saying.
That's the hill you're going to die on. Is that El Grande
I have to die
Mexicano?
on that hill?
Well, apparently, because you're over here saying, "Oh, it's not Chad Gable, it's Chad Gable."
Aside from the cuts, what proof?
Same build, same height. Does the thank you thing, but in Spanish. Wears the same damn ring gear. I see he wears the same damn boots.
Does Chad Gable know Spanish?
Yes, he does.
All right,
Let's keep it moving, because this is going to be a dark hole that we're just going to endlessly fall down into.
Yeah, maybe. Then you had Ivy Nile and Stephanie Vakir. They had their match. No interference. Well, no, I think that one was clean. Match ended with Vakir pinning Ivy Nile.
Non-title match, by the way.
Non-title match. So, yeah. Then you had Judgment. Wait. What was?
Yeah, Nick Aldis talking to AJ Styles.
Well, yeah, and then Judgment Day kind of cut in. And basically you had everyone on Judgment Day asking for time off. Liv got her time off, something about being in a Hollywood movie.
She's in a movie or whatever, a feature film, and Dominic was requesting time off because he was a champ. He can do whatever he wanted.
Even though, and then Nick Aldis told him that because he's a champion, that means double the workload.
Yeah.
Which I think makes sense. I agree with that. Because, again, all these champions we see just not doing anything. Just showing up like once a month for pay-per-views.
Okay. Oh, go into this. Really?
I mean, what was Logan Paul doing when he had the title?
Okay.
He literally only really showed up for promos and one match a month.
Okay.
Judgment Day, when they had the tag titles, you had New Day picking with them about how they had like one defense in, I think it was like 70-something days.
Right.
And then, Roman famously for his lack of defenses.
Okay.
Despite, what was it, 4 years?
He had some defenses, but they were like in small numbers.
Yeah. But 4 years when only had that many defenses. But that ended up leading to, and then they also ended up like insulting AJ a bit. So Dom did. So it's going to be Dom versus AJ next week, Raw.
I look forward to that one.
Then we have another bit. You'll like this bit. Sammy backstage. Karrion Kross walks up.
My guy Karrion, yeah.
Yeah. Talking about how Sammy has a big choice to make.
Yeah. I just like how he comes on and just starts smiling. They got to give him more TV time. That's how I feel. He's great.
I think it'd be cool to see him in like his own storyline too.
He needs to be in a storyline, but he also needs to get a singles title. or at least be considered in a singles title position. Because I mean, this guy has done so much, never won a singles.
I mean, they considered him for a rivalry with Bray Wyatt.
That
so.
says something.
Yeah.
And
I still think that would have been cool. To see.
But the only singles title that he ever won was in NXT.
Oof, that's a while ago. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. I don't know a lot of the history here. That's his thing.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Then you had after that, Pat talking about the events of last week with Gunther. Talking about how he wants to be remembered, and how he had no choice but to stand up and defend Adam Cole.
Michael Cole.
Yeah.
Not Adam Cole.
They're twins. I don't know.
They're not twins. This is about as ridiculous as your Chad Gable theory. Oh, God.
I don't know, actually. They have the same last name.
Oh, my God. Move on. You're going to go down this rabbit hole.
Juggalo's back.
Hey, how's it going?
Again, usually same last name means family, so just saying.
I worry about you.
Then he called and summoned SmackDown's version of Adam Pearce.
Yeah, which was
Which
Nick
I'm gonna be
Aldis.
using.
SmackDown's version of Adam Pearce?
Yeah. Or Raw's version of Nick Aldis. Go back and forth. Juggalo's there. Let's see. And then Aldis said he's gonna... Or Pac. I'm getting really confused today. Then you had Pat say that he wants a match with Gunther, and Aldis says he's going to allow it, but only at Backlash, and Pat agreed to that.
Okay.
Then you had Sammy going to Jay backstage for like support or whatever, and then
we'll see what we can do, Juggalo.
Yeah. And then after that, after Jay left, you had Logan come in and attack Sammy.
Right.
Then that goes on to I'm just going to say main event, because it's like it goes straight from the promo into the match. So you had Seth come out into the ring, starting off alone, and summoning out Sammy and talking to him. Still offering him that way out, going to a different brand and leaving Raw. Sammy saying that they've known each other for a while, that they're friends outside the ring, but inside the ring is a different story, and that Seth should know that Sammy will not run or be threatened. Then Braun came out seemingly on his own, and then the match started. And then after they got back from the ad break thing, you had the match start, and during that match you still had Seth offering Sammy that way out.
Right.
I say offering as if he wasn't threatening him a little bit before that.
We'll read that comment in a second, because that's a good point he made. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Finish out.
The match ended up ending in ref stoppage because Sammy was unable to compete. He was laying on.
Well, yeah, he was getting speared several times.
Yeah, at a certain point he just kind of stopped fighting. He couldn't anymore, and one of the guys that was doing commentary said something about how it looks he can't breathe or something like that.
Yeah,
he was having a hard time doing that.
So we got a comment in our YouTube section coming from DJ Crystal Clear, saying, if Seth is heel, this is a bad heel. He's getting cheered still. I agree. If this is supposed to be...
he's supposed to be the bad guy that everybody boos for, and that your job's usually to get hated, right?
If you're going to be a heel, yeah. I want to get speared by Braun on your bucket list.
I feel like that would hurt.
That's one way to go.
I feel like that would hurt a lot.
I agree. Hang on, I'm just preparing everything for the news part.
I mean, me personally, I've never been speared, but
Just imagine getting tackled really, really hard.
I feel like that would hurt. That. Yeah. Are you sure that's on your bucket list? Oh, he said. I see what you said there. I mean, maybe it won't hurt. I don't know if it.
Yeah, we'll see.
But what if you forget what happened? Then you won't remember to take it off the bucket list.
All right. Well, moving right along, we're going to go into the news portion of the show. Try to get this all taken care of because it is a bit running a bit late. One report of a former WWE star stepping back in the ring after 15 years.
WWE will record it.
Yeah, they probably will. So it happened on an episode, I guess it was an episode we can't cover yet, and that's NWA's Power.
We'll figure it out.
Tiffany Neves of at Reality of Wrestling. Well, she's an NWA star, and I guess it was on an episode of Reality of Wrestling. That's Booker T's promotion down in Houston.
Bronson Reed versus Rusev.
That'd be interesting to see.
But I mean, he could. Sorry about cutting you off.
Yeah, I'm reading news here. Anyway, Queen Sharmell she's been out of the pro wrestling business for about 16 years now. It led to a confrontation with Tiffany Neves at a Reality of Wrestling event. It was the event was called No Limits. I'm sorry. She's set to take on Tiffany Neves at Reality of Wrestling's No Limits event on May 10th. And it's, of course, taking place in Houston. And the whole thing started when Neves had called out Reality of Wrestling Pay Up at the Pay Up event. She called out Queen Sharmell, and she came to the ring. And they got into a heated confrontation to where it basically got into a fight. So they're having a match May 10th. Now let's try to keep in mind we haven't seen Queen Sharmell wrestle in a ring at all since September 30th of 2009, when she had teamed with her husband Booker T.
I feel like that's at least 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's been more than 10 years. She was in a mixed tag match with Awesome Kong and Scott Steiner. And this took place at TNA's first Impact tour.
Chris, bring ketchup and tomatoes. It's been a while since we've done that, actually. Ketchup and tomatoes.
Was that the door?
I don't know. I'll check.
Hang on, folks. We'll be right back. Try to figure out what's going on. Sound like what happened here? Oh. Hearing a door open and close, so kind of weird night for us tonight with the technical difficulties and everything. Don't know where Chris went. Is Reed? Yeah, Reed is still injured. Booker T destroy Swerve in a match. I've heard about their little feud that they've got going on too. Chris? Swerve walking, paved the way. Pretty much. What happened?
I guess the wind blew the door open or something. But check everything. It's clear.
Oh, that was weird. Okay. We're not getting technical difficulties on our end here with computer.
It's a ghost.
Not a ghost. Anyway,
It could be.
let's just move on to the next story. A weird episode today. I mean, we went 1 week without any problems, and then all of a sudden, we're back. We're here Monday, and all of a sudden, we got problems with the computer, problems with that, winds blowing doors open, odd things, dogs barking. We'll go into that in a minute.
Oh, that Chris, not that.
Oh, you came back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that
we'll-
Chris, not this Chris.
We'll explain a lot of things, but we need to get through everything else here first. So next up, as you can see, Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. If you guys have been on social media, you saw their little NWO cringe promo that they had.
Their old brother.
It was in their old NWO black and white promo videos that they did.
I don't get what were they advertising there.
A lot of people are saying they're doing their own podcast.
Oh.
But the way they went about it was, hang on.
Because he showed me a video, and I was like, what's going on here? And I couldn't make heads or tails of it.
Right.
So
So they start the whole thing, and then Hulk Hogan starts with quoting Joker and saying, "Why so serious?" Because you know who I am. And then they took the line from Scott Hall when he went into NWO.
Why is it? Oof. Did he unironically say that? Or
Yeah, no, he said that. He said, "Why so serious?"
About what?
I don't know, but then, I mean, then
He might be losing it.
But Bischoff then took a line from Scott Hall when Scott Hall debuted on WCW on Monday Nitro. He said, Bischoff said, "But you don't know why he's here." It was one of those. It was using one of his lines in a way. So I'm just going to read the quotes that they said in the video. So Bischoff goes, "But you don't know why he's here. This is so badass. You people know who we are. You have no idea what we're about. We're back, Hulkster. We are so back." And then Hulk Hogan comes on saying, "We changed the world one time, but now we're here to wake them up. We're here to slice and dice the world of wrestling, and you're not going to know what hit you." Then Bischoff follows up with, "It's going to rock your world."
Did they say
Should we talk about his credentials? Should we talk about all of his championships? Should we talk about the world-class athlete that
So,
he has?
what do you want to talk about?
The world-class athletes that he has brought to the very top of this point? Should we talk about that? No, not yet. Then Hogan ended it with calling the guy a real badass with Bischoff, closing it saying, "We're back, we're better than ever, we can't wait to see."
I don't know, Jackalow. I don't.
So
Especially the way he got booed during his last appearance on main event or whatever, Saturday Night Main Event. Hogan?
I don't recall, but I'm not.
Like,
It seems like it is, but this third guy, a lot of people are speculating that it's Flair, and the three of them are going to start a podcast.
so
I
where's
don't know.
Cody?
I don't know who this third guy is, but people have responded to this video, and I'm going to give you quotes of people responding to this. We're doing Why So Serious references in 2025. One person put in, a drunk and a racist. No thanks. Someone put in, two dumb bees telling each other exactly. Holy F, this is cringe. Two geriatrics clinging to personas from over 20 years ago. Someone also said, I already don't care about this, and I swear to God, if Flair is the third person, this will probably not last more than a year. Someone said, this isn't 1996 anymore, fellas. Then someone said, don't tell me we're going to get a new NW Old podcast, and ended it and put that with a crying emoji. If it is, I'm having problems reading it because it's something I'm not. It's
all I know is that when he showed me the thing, it confused me, and I'm gonna be honest. I for a second I thought they were gonna do something with like WWE or something again.
right.
But if they're like doing some other thing, I can't figure out why.
Either
like
way,
like what Juggalo asked there, why they want to come back.
I don't know. They don't need to. I mean, Hogan's struggling here with his beer, and then he had the beer fiasco at some store. They were throwing beer cans around, and a woman got hit in the head with one. I mean,
He's like,
it's ridiculous.
I mean, if what was his name, Logan Paul or whatever, if that guy could do it, right? I mean, and then they want to talk about adding Ric Flair.
We don't know
Possibly.
who the third person is.
But depending on how you look at it, these are already two controversial figures, especially Hulk Hogan.
Right? Definitely Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I don't know about Eric Bischoff that much, but I know
he was more controversial pro wrestling wise.
for what.
Controversy.
What'd he do?
Well, I mean, the whole thing with NWO, with WCW, with Monday Night Nitro, with the Monday Night Wars. It was a bit controversial there, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The whole, we're going to spoil the other guy's matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think Sting would align himself with those guys again. It didn't work out too well when they were in TNA together.
Not just that, but didn't he have a rivalry with NWO?
Yeah.
He didn't want to join NWO or something like that?
Yeah. But I'm saying professionally,
yeah,
Sting wouldn't want to do that. Plus, I mean, the guy's trying to retire and relax.
Yeah.
All right. Moving right along. It involves our favorite faction in AEW right now, and that is the Hurt Syndicate. And
another guy.
They were in an
Who's
interview.
the other guy?
I'm going to explain it if you'd stop cutting me off, damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, during an interview with Chris Van Vliet, the Hurt Syndicate members, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley, they were asked about bringing a fourth member, and of course the fourth member not being MJF,
Yeah.
but of Cedric Alexander, who was a part of the Hurt Business during WWE when the whole COVID thing was happening. They were a formidable team. So they were asked about that.
They could get him to like help deal with MJF or something.
Maybe. But Cedric Alexander right now is a free agent. But MVP had responded saying, quote, I believe he's still on his 90 days. And Bobby Lashley followed it up with, quote, we love Seth. Seth is like a little brother, so we'll see what happens. So hopefully,
I mean, they didn't deny it.
they didn't deny it. So I'm being very hopeful that Cedric Alexander is the fourth member to join up with the faction and the well-established tag champs. So,
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing that if that does happen. I mean, say MJF gets welcomed in, but then gets booted out, and MJF has resentment. Here comes Cedric Alexander to take on MJF or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I'm liking what they're doing. I really am. I'm liking what AEW is doing with the Hurt Syndicate. They're doing great things with that.
That and the promos, the promo battles we've seen between them, MJF and Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah. All right. So moving right along, still discussing AEW. They're talking
Just AEW this time.
well, yeah, about AEW Grand Slam that's going to be taking
The
place.
pay-per-view?
It's not a pay-per-view. Do not do that. Do not trick the people of Mexico.
Yeah.
But they have officially sold out of tickets weeks before the event. They're officially sold out. The official Ticketmaster site had said that they have completely sold out, and it's for the legendary Arena Mexico that's in Mexico City. Now, this arena holds a capacity of 16,500 people. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not going to be the amount of people there. Because
Imagine if people got seats just to leave them empty to mess with AEW.
I wouldn't say that. The reason why I'm saying it's not going to be 16,500 people, AEW is going to close off seats so they can put the hard camera someplace.
Yeah.
And we saw a map of when they come here in July for AEW and, of course, All In at Garland. And they've got, I want to say, a good, not even half, a little more than half. They left probably like a third of the arena open for seats. The remainder is all blocked off.
Yeah.
And all the seats are facing hard camera. So when they go for that wide shot, they'll start like a third of a way of the arena and pan over until they get to the Titantron, and they'll not show the other seats. Now, there are going to be people probably sitting along the first few rows, but they're not. They're blocking off seats.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe there could be 16,500 people that do show up in that arena.
We'll have to see how AEW handles that one.
So next story, it's dealing with, dare I say, a cross promotion.
They're
Of
going to do a
sorts.
cross promo.
Of course, NWA having the Crockett Cup taking place on May 17th. Everyone knows about this. I'm going to give some backstory here, though. But Kenzie Page, who's set to take on Natalya from WWE, they're going to have a match at the Crockett Cup event. Now, what has brought this on was during WrestleMania weekend, Josh Barnett and GCW held an event that was called Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. Karrion Kross, our guy, had participated in the event, and as well as Natalya, Pete Dunne. They had participated in the event. And it was like the underground matches, no ropes, just the ring. Well, Natalya had a match or a fight or whatever against Mayu Yamashita. and Natalya won that fight. And right after, her and Natalya and Mayu had gotten into an altercation to where, Natalya got on top and was just pounding her, and then got off and got out of the ring, flipped her the bird, and walked off, was shaking hands with the fans around the arena, and there was Kenzie Page at ringside flipping off Natalya, and they get into a physical altercation. So now they're going to have a match at Crockett Cup. And here recently, Paige had showed up to the famous Hart Dungeon, where Stu Hart, the patriarch of the Hart family, would train wrestlers in the basement of their home. And Paige shows up and starts attacking Natalya right there in front of Natalya's friends and everything in the middle of her training. But after that, the NWA Women's World Champion, Kenzie Page, was on an interview with Horror Pop After Midnight. She starts off the whole thing by saying, quote, "Don't even bring up Natalya." And then she backtracked and said, "You know what? Actually, let's talk about it. Everyone thinks I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad one because I went to the dungeon. Maybe I did break in. Maybe I did beat her up and attack her." So this is into a heated rivalry, and I'm just sitting here thinking, where was this kind of storyline for Natalya in WWE? Natalya has not been on TV, has rarely been on TV. The last time I remember her being on TV, she was teamed up with Maxine Dupree to try to get women's tag titles.
Last time I remember was the... did she have any kind of involvement with when they introduced those new titles? Because I think I remember her having like a match or something to try and qualify because she was in the tournament.
I think so, but she hasn't been on... She's rarely on TV, and she wasn't at WrestleMania. And I'm just wondering, where was this kind of storyline while working in WWE? You know? I'm not saying they've let go of Natalya. They have not released her or anything like that. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm just saying that she's been there the longest. And all she is a jobber for all these up-and-coming women wrestlers. She needs to at least get a singles title again before she even calls it quits with a wrestling career. So, I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know about you.
I think they could probably do more with her, definitely. Because, again, looking at the, what was the family name thing again?
The Hart family?
Yeah, that bloodline, so to speak.
So to speak. I mean, she is the niece of Bret Hart, the daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Yeah. But I think that even like with some of the other stuff they're doing, at least a title or two.
Yeah, it couldn't hurt.
And not tag titles because, like
She's
an actual one.
Yeah. And I know she's won SmackDown women's titles at one point. She was a Divas champion at one point, but I'm talking about get her a women's world championship or the WWE women's title, something.
Yeah.
Before this woman retires. Moving right along, we're going back to AEW, and I came across this story and I had to laugh. It's dealing with this upcoming edition of the May 3rd episode of Collision. They had announced earlier today, AEW, that the May 3rd episode of Collision is going to be on TBS and instead of being on TNT. The show will also be streamed live on Max if you get Max, which we don't. Apparently, TNT had a different priority this week, and it was during the Collision's time slot on Saturday at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And a lot of people are like, well, it is the NBA playoffs, and it's
not for the NBA.
It's not for the NBA. It's not for the NHL because the NHL is also on TNT. It's for the airing of Avengers Infinity War. TNT has bumped Collision to play Avengers. I don't know if that's supposed to be a little message to Tony Khan saying, we enjoy your wrestling program, but we're putting we're putting an Avengers movie before and ahead of your wrestling program. That says, honestly, they may not intentionally mean to say anything, but to me, that's pretty much saying we care more about putting out this Avengers movie than your wrestling.
Yeah, and I think at this point it's one that everyone's seen too. So everyone that cared about it anyway.
Well, yeah, that's all well and true. But, I mean, to put a movie, Infinity War, it's not Endgame. Endgame was bigger than Infinity War. If we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about this. Endgame was bigger than Infinity War. Yeah. And Infinity War has been out a lot longer than, well, both movies have been out for quite some time to where everyone has to have had seen it. So why is TNT making it a big deal to put it on instead of AEW Collision, which is mind-boggling in a way. I'm not defending anybody. I'm not upset at all. I'm just saying it's just kind of funny, and how TNT is kind of sending a message, I guess, to Tony Khan.
Yeah.
I guess it could be a ratings thing because there have been talks about ratings that a lot of people probably weren't watching Collision as much. So they figured, okay, well, we'll put on something like Avengers and people could watch Avengers, which would probably get more ratings than AEW.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see about that. All right. So our last news story, of course, is everyone's backstage reaction about Zelina Vega winning the women's U.S. title on Friday Night SmackDown. That took place here in Fort Worth. Happy to say that with a smile on my face.
I think she's been needing a title for a while.
I wholeheartedly agree.
At least deserving of one.
Yes.
At least to be in that picture instead of just, not having one.
Well, this is according to PWI Insider, or PW Insider, sorry.
One of the two.
A lot of people backstage very, very happy that Zelina Vega finally got a singles title. It's even more special because it happened on the same day that her husband, Aleister Black, has come back to the company and is back on TV since his departure from AEW as Malachi Black.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you real quick about that. I was looking at some notation and everything, and it was dealing with pay. Aleister Black was getting paid more working for WWE than he was for AEW. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
But just a brief history of Zelina Vega. Now, she started wrestling. She came into the wrestling business in 2010 at the age of 17 and started training under the instruction of Javier Azriel. And she then debuted a year later in TNA as Rosita and teamed with her cousin Sarita. and won the defeated Love and Winter to win the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Her first championship, I believe. After that, she would work at. She would then, after leaving TNA, would wrestle at CMLL in Mexico, and found her way at WWE, where she was one of the famed Rosebuds for Adam Rose. Adam Rose's character, who would always come to the ring and have this group of people that would just be behind him dancing and everything, wearing outrageous costumes and everything like that. Zelina Vega was one of them. After that, she had gotten more and more serious about her career, started managing Andrade in NXT, and then moved to the main roster where she had been until she got released, and came back, and then became the very first inaugural Queen of the Ring. That was the same event where Xavier Woods became King of the Ring.
I think I saw that one.
Yeah. Well, Zelina Vega later that night would also become Queen of the Ring, the very first. And then, while still being Queen Zelina, became tag champs with Carmella after...
Before Camilla got released.
Until Camilla left to go and start a family. Oh. Then Zelina then dropped the Queen moniker and joined LWO with Rey Mysterio and the other guys, and now here she is with her own singles title. It was a long, hard-fought career for the past 15 some odd years, and now she's got a singles title, and I honestly believe it was well deserved.
Yeah.
I honestly do.
I think it's cool it happened here in Texas.
It was even more cooler because it happened here in our hometown. Yeah, but I think it's well deserved. She had paid her dues, put in a lot of hard work. I mean, she had one hell of a match with Rhea Ripley at Backlash in Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
and I mean that put her in recognition. Like, hey, if she can hang with Rhea Ripley, then she deserves to get a singles title. And she had come close many times, and it's like, it's almost one of those. Okay, how come they're not giving her one? You know, it would have been even more if she would have got it while still in LWO. But this win this past Friday,
I don't know. I think it's also kind of cool that she got it while the odds were a little against her. You know.
That is very true, because you had the secret
service,
whatever.
Yeah. Of
Chelsea Green. But I honestly feel with her winning the title this way was a lot better than being in LWO, because that is basically her showing she could do it on her own and not with a faction or a team, but by herself. And when she came to SmackDown after leaving LWO, she was just constantly hounding Chelsea Green. Like, I'm coming after that title. I'm coming after that title. And got a match but lost, but then went back at it again. Fought off Alba Fire and Piper Niven to win the title.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly happy for her. You know, it's like finally she gets the title. So I can't wait to see what other what becomes of it, of her title reign, and hopefully after she even, and I know this is already too bad to say, but if she ever does lose that title, she can always now go and show that she can be at the main title and get a main card match, which I think she should, because she's been in the business for 15 plus years and has been busting her butt to get where she's at, and I mean, they just showed she just put out a video earlier today, her training. It was pretty much, yeah, I may have won Friday, but I'm not quitting.
Yeah.
I'm not quitting. I'm just going to keep on. There's no stop. I mean, she was proving what Nick Aldis told Dominic. Now that you're champion, you got to put in double as much work, and that's what Zelina's doing. Your thoughts?
I agree that she's been deserving of a title for a while now, and like you said, the whole constant back and forth of she gets close to getting a title, but then she doesn't, and then what I pointed out about now she's got one, and she got it on her own while the odds were against her. So,
yeah. So Zelina, congratulations. Very proud of you. All right. Let's see.
Sorry about not reading any comments on that. Sorry.
You guys, good night. I'm tired. Okay. All right, Chris, going to bed.
That Chris, not this Chris.
On Twitch. We weren't ignoring you, Juggalo. We're just trying to get through our stuff here that we had planned out pretty much most of the day for our show. He had his comments here.
I think the
Carmella ruined her own career.
What did the internet say about the Vega title win, by the way? Because I think he said that during us talking about that. If he is,
a lot of people
still
don't
here.
like Zelina Vega winning the title, and I disagree with what other people say usually, and it's just my opinion. I mean, a lot of people are disagreeing about how other things go in professional wrestling, but that's how it is. That's how it is in professional wrestling. They want to do something to build a story that's going to lead up to a big picture, and some people aren't going to like it, and some people will. Like, for example, a lot of people were liking Dominic winning the Intercontinental title. I thought it was a pretty good step up for him, especially with his story and everything. A lot of people weren't liking it because you had Finn and and taking it from Braun Breaker, but really Dom pinned Finn in order to get the title and not Braun Breaker. So I think that's where Braun Breaker will try to get the title back.
I don't know.
Internet wanted Green to hold it for a while. I mean, she already was holding it for 100 plus days, 180 plus days. And she was the first champion, but who's to say that she won't come back and get it?
She hasn't had a rematch yet.
No.
I mean, that was, last week?
Yeah, it just happened last week. So we'll see what happens next week or the week after. Chelsea Green may want to have another shot at the title again. And who knows?
Yeah.
But either way, it's one of those, you want to enjoy it right now while we still can.
Let's see.
All right. Penta versus Green needs to happen.
I don't know how they would do that.
He's referring to it was Lucha Underground. It was a promotion that had Rey Mysterio, it had Rey Phoenix, it had Penta.
It had both Rays.
It had both Rays. It had Penta. It had Luchadors, and Chelsea Green was in it. And at one point, she had a one-on-one match with Penta. So
I don't know if WWE would like that.
They kind of frown upon that, but then you've got women that are interjecting themselves into matches and beating up men. So
Equal rights, equal fights.
Not that doesn't mean that we approve of that kind of action. No.
We do not approve of hitting people or hurting people in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, especially women. I mean, come on.
Equal rights, equal fights. That might sound controversial, but
we're not a controversial show, Chris.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if they want to get in men's matches, then yeah.
How long before? Oh wait, I see someone here. Mal put Jey Uso might join The Rock only because The Rock has Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso at his entrance at one point. Travis Scott was there. Okay, alrighty. How long before WWE puts Cena in the Hall of Fame? We don't know. It's probably going to... I want to say after he leaves WWE, when he gets done with his 20-something days,
Yeah.
and then they put him in the Hall of Fame right after, but...
And another thing, is he counting, like, off-screen appearances too, like live events or whatever?
No.
Or is it only stuff that we can see on the TV?
Only stuff we see on the TV, pay-per-views and televised shows.
That's what I was looking
Yeah,
for.
he ain't doing live events. He's doing the opposite of what Cody does, where Cody was at live events and, everything like that. That was a mistype. Meant The Rock has Travis Scott, not Cody Rhodes. Okay. I was wondering what that was. You boo the Hogan beer commercials.
He wants
We
to
laugh at them.
We do.
Anytime it comes on, I hilariously
Because
laugh. Like, dude.
It looks kind of... I'm gonna be honest,
So-
it looks ridiculous.
So here's the thing. In his prime, during the golden era of WWE, Hogan is over here telling kids, take your vitamins, say your prayers, eat your vegetables, all that other stuff.
Ooh, that is a fall from grace type thing. isn't it?
Now he's telling the very same kids
Buy my beer, brother.
that were taking their vitamins and doing everything and all that. Drink this beer, get drunk.
Buy my beer and drink it, brother. Right?
What you gonna do when you guzzle down 12
What
packs
you gonna
of
do
American
when
made
alcohol
beer?
mania runs wild on you? Oh no, better. What you gonna do when alcoholism runs wild on you?
I don't know, Hogan. It seems it's affected you, brother. Ronda Rousey versus Rhea Ripley would be a good rivalry storyline since Rhea would have a challenge of sorts since she is really dominant in the women's division. I like that. That would actually be an interesting match to watch.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, we're about to wrap things up here, actually. We've got a busy day tomorrow. We got NXT coming up. But before we head out of here and leave you kids, don't forget to visit us on our social media pages. We have Discord, Facebook, Instagram. We have a Patreon page. We're still on TikTok. We do have a Twitch, an X, and YouTube. Otherwise, how would you know where we were if you weren't watching us? TikTok is showing me chicks who dress like Rhea. Okay. They know me. Anyway, and to answer DJ Crystal Clear's question about TikTok, the reason why we haven't been doing TikTok lives anymore, for one, the OBS program that we have that we use now, where
It
we're
doesn't like
multi-streaming,
TikTok.
it doesn't have a variable to where we can use TikTok on it at all. Just everything else but that.
We're everywhere except TikTok now.
Yeah.
We have TikTok too.
The second reason is more of personal reasons, dealing with what had happened earlier. Chris broke it. No, Chris didn't break it.
Socko broke it.
Socko didn't break it either.
That would explain why he would. No, we didn't suspend him or anything. I
He
put
put
ketchup
ketchup
on
on
it.
No, he didn't. No, it was more personal reasons. If you go back on our TikTok page, we thoroughly explained it about some people that it was during one of our last lives on TikTok, kind of disrupt some things. Again, we put it on the TikTok page and kind of put a sour taste in our mouth and kind of messed with us mentally and emotionally to where we didn't know if we were going to be able to come back and do this again. And
Or I guess more so if we should.
if we should, because of everything that had happened. But we just basically just sucked it up and said, we need to continue this because we started this and we had such a big following on TikTok and everything. We need to get our following built back up again. And it may not be on TikTok where we need to get our following, but on our social media pages, as well as YouTube and everywhere else where we can stream and hopefully get a bigger fan base there. And I hope so too. With you guys watching this, we do appreciate you guys clicking on this or joining us live here tonight. If you are new here to our show, watching us live, we do go live after pretty much majority of all the weekly shows: Raw, NXT, Dynamite, Impact, and SmackDown, as well as Collision. And then we also are on after we're on after pay-per-views and PLEs, like just last night. We were on after TNA's Rebellion, which was really good, by the way.
I'll get around to it. Either that or I'll just have Dad do it.
Link to Discord on TikTok. Yeah, you can send him a link. Let me see here. I was trying to get to Mal's comment here. Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan story would be great. Feel like they wasted Alexa Bliss's return since I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I really do. I think the return of Alexa Bliss was a bit wasted and rushed to put her into Elimination Chamber. It should have.
I feel like what they were wanting to do was have her like join up with the Wyatt Six and then have the Wyatt Six versus Judgment Day storyline, and then the main one butting heads with Liv would be Alexa Bliss.
That would be great. I would love it. But
that's what I feel like they were originally planning to do, but then I guess she got injured again or something.
No. No, she didn't get injured.
Oh, wait, I forgot. We did a news thing.
Yeah.
Then they canceled because of Bo Dallas.
Why did Pat McAfee challenge Gunther? I feel like that's Vince. Vince hasn't been with the company in, I want to say, longer than like a year now. Vince has been out of the picture with WWE. He has nothing to do with the company anymore. It's all ran by Nick Khan and Triple H. So yeah, there's.
I feel like the cameras froze.
Yeah, we froze. I think it overheated. Oh no, there it goes. We're back. We clicked back on. We're back. But I see we froze on something that Vince would do. Yeah, it would.
If you do that again, I'm going to throw ketchup at it. I'm going to put ketchup on it.
I'm seeing we're kind of glitching on YouTube right now. Okay. We're back. had me worried. But yeah, Vince has not been with the company for quite some time. But Mal, I like your way of thinking. I really do. I feel the return was wasted and rushed, and should have waited till Bo Dallas got fully healed for the Wyatt Six to return, and then have Alexa Bliss come back as well, and then build the storyline to where she joins the Wyatt Six.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was wanting anyway. I'm
kind of hoping for that. All right. Well, again, catch us here on these social media pages down here on below on the bottom of the screen. Gonna still thank Vince for WWE, even though, well, we can't complete that sentence.
Yeah.
But yeah, catch us on our social media sites here. You can always email us.
crosspromopod@gmail.com.
There we can answer your guys' questions. If you guys want your emails read on live on our show, we'll definitely do that for you.
Yeah.
Of course, you can always find us here where we can chat with you here on our live chat, whether it's Kick, whether it's Twitch, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram. We've tried to get back on TikTok, but it's just a no-go. We do like to hope that the followers we have on TikTok just jump over and join us on Twitch and on Kick and on YouTube. And of course, there's also we do have merch available. You guys can, if you go to our YouTube page, you can check on our description of our channel. There is a website that takes you to our little store, and there you can get hats, shirts, mouse pads, everything like that with not only our faces but our logo, and And we even have some of our old logo too, and not like the new one that you see above here.
It's right there.
But we enjoyed having you guys here tonight. Sorry about the technical difficulties at first, and then
Yeah.
thoughts.
Third time's the charm, though.
And then of course Mother Nature trying to blow the door open, thinking we were getting a break in or something. But
yeah.
other than that, I mean, we are glad you guys came by. We are going to be here We're going to be here tomorrow night. So if you guys want to get a recap of NXT and more news going on in the world of professional wrestling, feel free and stop by. We do appreciate you guys coming in. So from the Cross Promo Show, I'm Kevin.
I'm Chris.
And
We gone.